Cool. Don't be too cool, kid. All right, we got a banger today. We got a turd on a box. Now, what's in the box, you ask? Well, it's kind of the whole point of the video, isn't it? So I backed something in 2019, I think it was. We're about to check. It might have been 2017. By the way, guys, cannot recommend any crowdfunding from anyone you don't know or trust. Just going to tell you, I've gotten burned. Even Coolmon's going out of business potentially. There are no safe Kickstarters or any of that stuff anymore. Those days are over. Awaken Realms has been good to me. Mantic's been good to me. Next Level Miniature's been good to me. Reaper has been good to me. The list is very short. Okay. The company we're about to see here has been very bad to me. I've at least spent probably $3,500 with this company. And of course, it wasn't a purchase, it was an investment, is what the crowdfunding people say. But let me tell you, there is a checklist of things you order on that damn pledge manager. Okay, so I honestly, you have no legal protection. You're last in line. You're not even in line when the company goes under. You're not even in line. And then, we'll go ahead and talk about it. Petersen Games is the company here. I backed a Kickstarter called Hyperspace. It was like the third thing I ever kickstarted. The first thing I ever kickstarted was something called it failed too, actually. That should have been a clue for me, but I didn't know it at the time. It was Saga World Builder. Saga World Builder was a map, which, Game Start made something similar, and I ended up getting that, and it works great. So I dig it, but I spent $160 for nothing, and they didn't give me nothing. I didn't even get like STL files or nothing. They gave us nothing. Because I was a late backer, so they didn't. Late backers, they didn't care about it. Saga World Builder, guy there named Alex Suarez. I'm gonna name names, right? So then I backed something called Hyperspace soon after that. The Bones 4 was the Kickstarter, the first Kickstarter I backed that actually delivered. The Reaper people are great. They're really on it. They're running a little. They've had some issues. I won't get into it, and they've been running a little later. But I know my stuff's coming, And COVID really messed up the whole game. I think the Trump tariffs are going to mess the game up too. So what we got here, though, is the culmination of years of waiting, and I gotta give you guys the backstory. But first, I want to pause it. All right, here we go, guys. So I was late to get into the crowdfunding and the board games, but yeah, this game was kickstarted in let's see here. I don't know a quick way to look this up. I'm gonna scroll and then tell you guys. All right, so anyway, 2019 is February of 2019, so early 2019 is when this ran. Sandy and company, Sandy Petersen Games, they collected a nice sum of cash for a game that I went all in on. So we'll look at my pledge real quick. All right, here was my pledge, $299. Now, according to Sandy, it was supposed to be a $500-something value. You get everything, basically. So you get 25 civilizations. You get 519 USD value. Ooh. And PG exclusives don't have. Now, don't forget, all of Petersen Games Kickstarters are China ready. They love to advertise that. Yeah, there you go. August 2020 is when it was supposed to deliver. August 2020. We are in 2025. Now that's not the bad part. You know, if this game was what I paid for, we wouldn't even be talking about it. I'd be like, hey, it's 5 years late, but awesome, you know. When I ordered this game, when I backed this, right? One of the kids in the game night group was like 11, right? They're off in the Air Force now. They're off in the Air Force. If that tells you anything about what's going on with this deal. And I actually got this game for them because it was up their alley. All right. Now, what's important here, and I'm going to show you real quick, are the pledge levels. So, I don't need to tell you guys this, but I'm going to, real quick for anybody that doesn't know. Petersen Games had a lot of financial problems, blah, 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 blah. There's been like 3 different times that they've been bailed out, and they've still managed to screw it up. So, which isn't totally their fault, but largely their fault. Their incompetence. So, I mean, there were other players. But the first failing was all of them. 100% them. And they are outstanding, I think, like 7 Kickstarters. I'm guesstimating that they have not fulfilled. They haven't even fulfilled Onslaught 4 of Cthulhu Wars, which is their flagship game. And as I recall, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Onslaught 3 German version has still not been fulfilled. Those people have been waiting probably 10 years, 9 or 10 years. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, moving right along. The pledge levels matter because in order to get anything, this box we got right here, you don't get anything unless you did Starship Captain. So what Petersen Game has done is, first of all, they had a company called Quimbley Games partner with them. Quimbley Games put out their money to build a special shop where they could build stuff in the United States, which is what bankrupted them, okay? Because you can't produce anything in the United States because wages are too high. That's, yeah, I mean, everybody knows that. That's why this stuff's made in China, okay? And if you do that, well, it better be, you know, very high quality and worth the extra money, which we're going to find out real quick. I've heard bad things, though, so I'll just tell you guys that. I will temper your expectations. All right, so back to the point. This right here, you had to have this level. You couldn't be the space cadet. You don't get nothing. No, even though they promised you the core game with 8 aliens, right? Nothing. You don't get nothing. Corvette pilot, you know, you're supposed to get 6 players, 2 extra civs, aliens, right? It's a $159 value. Well, guess what? It's a $0 value because you don't get nothing. Base commander, which is only $20 off what I grabbed as, you know, all in, which why would you do that, right? Well, anyway, only 7 people fell for this one. But they don't get nothing. They get nothing. 0, nada. Petersen Games, they said, boop, right? Nothing. Now, they did offer anyone who wanted to go into the late pledge manager or into the pledge manager and up their pledge to Starship Captain. If you did that, if you paid, so say you were this guy, the space cadet, if you paid the money, the $230 to get you up into this tier, you could have what I'm about to show you guys, okay? Which is a bullshit paper version, yeah? All cardboard, standees, and bullshit version. Now, I've heard bad things about the packaging, so we're going to find out here. This one's not too bad. Some people showed highly damaged boxes, but mine has bubble wrap. Now I'll go ahead and show you guys. Mine had the air wrap stuff in it, right on top too. So that's good. I feel very bad for the people who got their game damaged, so that's always irksome. It really is. All right, now this right away. I was warned. We were warned. There is a deck of cards just stuffed into the edge of this, and we'll look at the box and everything. So there's 2 boxes you get. Okay, now this was Quimbley Games. I gotta warn you guys, Quimbley Games, and that's a defunct company that failed. This was their idea of how to do Hyperspace. Not Sandy's dream, not the thing I was just showing you. This is their idea. Okay. Now that's the packaging. That's not bad. This looks kind of pretty. Now you will notice here stickers, right, that say Petersen Games, but under here it says Quimbley Games or Quimbley's Games. I almost want to pull one off just to see. Let's do. Should we do that? Oh wow, it looks like it's going to come off too. Oh yeah, this will be a fun experiment. All right, I'm going to pause it while I pull this off. Okay, I do this a lot at work, so I'm actually quite good at this with patient labels and such. There it is, Quimbley's Toys and Games, the defunct company that thought that making it in America made sense. I guess they didn't math. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. That's their... And they decided to partner with Petersen Games. What I think they miscalculated, I can't speak for them, is they thought coming in and bailing out Petersen Games was going to give them a lot of good faith. What they didn't realize is... So their little workaround on this didn't please people. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't blame Quimbley's Games. They walked into a bad situation. And so, yeah. Quimbley's got into a situation they didn't understand, I think. So their workaround, they thought this would be acceptable to the guys and gals who paid $300, because that was where most of the backers were. I don't know if you guys saw those numbers. Most people backed at $300. So most of the people who were seeing what Quimbley's Games was up to saw that they were getting a paper standee version of a $300 game, and really it was $400 after taxes, shipping, and all the add-ons. So like, for example, I ordered or kickstarted, even though it was after the Kickstarter was over, they added some new items. They added an interdimensional pack, something about cats pack, cats in space pack, and then they were selling a neoprene mat. I ordered all of it, so I'm in way over $400. I was gonna have a neoprene, play all the civs map, that would lay out on the table just like this mat here, okay, but big. It cost like $80 if I remember right. Yeah, so they got me for another $80 there. Or it might have been $60. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The point is, Quimbley's, these guys got with Petersen Games, and they said, we are not going to fulfill what you guys actually ordered. Now keep in mind, Petersen Games has already spent every penny they got out of all those Kickstarters. Every penny. Promise. And they, yeah. And, I can't promise that, but yeah, they spent it all. Okay. So this is what came in it. By the way, when you guys open the box, this is what came in the side. Now, I was going to do an opening video. Maybe we can do that real quick. It's not to be real quick. But these are the race-specific super tax, I guess. Yeah. Star Spawn. So I am a little psyched to actually get to play this game, because this was the one game I got from Petersen Games that I really, really, really wanted to play that wasn't Cthulhu Wars. Okay. I backed almost everything they put out in the time where they've been screwing people. So I'm in the hole, like I said, real big. But most of those also work as Cthulhu Wars add-ons. That's why I got them, so I could use them for Cthulhu Wars. I also hear Planet Apocalypse is a really fun game, and the Gods War is a really fun game. I got the Gods War because they said it's actually better than Cthulhu Wars. And I thought, better than Cthulhu Wars, I'm in, because I really like Cthulhu Wars, right? Well, or Cthulhu, or however you say it. Nope. Anyway, so what we got is a mess, because we got paper standee versions, and we're going to go ahead and open them. Now, some people have reported finding silverfish in their boxes. Now, I won't say people, it's one person. But we're about to find out. So, a lot of people, they like to mess with these. I just cut them. Now, you'll usually see these on cheap board games at the, Walmart. Arena of the Planeswalker comes to mind. So, there you go. Did I cut all those? Nope, I left one uncut. All right. So, yeah, you just slice and dice. Make it nice. This is the expansion pack, but it's going to be very indicative of what the rest of the game has to offer. Did I not go all the way through that, puppy? There we go. My goodness, I should just use my fingernails. All right, so here we go. This is the instructions for the game. Very fun, very exciting, very premier, very Quimbly's Toys and Games. Now, these hip cats were making all kinds of very interesting products that, were pretty pricey and made in the USA. Which, it's great if it sells. If it don't sell, if people aren't willing to pay those prices. All right, so this is an idea of what you're going to get in the game. And this game is a game I plan to actually play and see if it plays well. So, okay, first of all, we got this mold stuff, the plastic mold. I don't know how I don't know. So that's what everything goes in, I guess. I'm guessing this is where the planet tiles go and all the bits and baubles. I don't know if Quimbly's made these moldings here in the USA. It's entirely possible they did. Let's see if there's anything else in the box. Let me pan out here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah. So there we go. Very nice. Very lovely. Nothing there. Okay, here's the stands. We got black and white stands. I don't know what the color difference is, but I guess we'll find out. Here is our total colonies counter. And again, this isn't going to be in depth. These are kind of loosey-goosey, aren't they? The planet tiles, and they are, as you can see, very bent, but, flimsy. Flimsy like a cheap Chinese fan or something. I don't know if they're quite, they're pretty flimsy. But, nice print. It's, it's not what I imagined when I paid $300, but let's see if it fits in the box. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Oh, maybe it goes here? Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay. I see. There's a method to the madness. But then again, how do I... Oh, okay. Thumb hole. All right, that's not too bad. Okay, so that's the home worlds for the various races, or civs, he's calling them, civilizations. They're different species, so I have no problem with the word race for that. I know a lot of people get PC about that. I know. Automata doesn't share genetic material with Salps. Zepzeg or Star Spawn. I don't believe. This is Earth, by the way. Yeah. All right. Anyway, back to the point. This is you can see how warped it is. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to cry about that. A lot of people were crying about it. Look, we weren't going to get anything. Quimbly's games messed up, and now we're getting stuff. So everything you see here was paid for on the backs of Quimbly games, I believe. I don't know the particulars. You can ask the Petersen clan. But I believe that everything you see here was paid for, bought by, and dominated by the monies of Quimbly Games. And it is Quimbly Games that lost their ass on this deal. And now, Petersen Games is sending you, at your expense, what was printed. Now, this is just pure speculation on my part. What was printed off the backs of Quimbly's Toys and Games. I heard lawyers were involved. No particulars have ever been given, but I just truly, that is my hunch. That's pure. This is all pure conjecture on my part. So, trigger warning for all you sycophants out there. All right, Automata. So here's your little metal, atomics, weaknesses, bonuses, all that stuff, all the particulars of the game. And on the back, there's going to be individual stories, right? For the races, right? My ship lowered softly onto the south landing pad, right? Now, the funny part about this is it's in English, and it's coming from the perspective of a human, it looks like. But guess what civilization Quimbley's didn't choose to print? Yeah, that's right, human. Yeah, I know. The bonus sieve from the Kickstarter, not available. There's only 8 of the 24 civilizations, 25 civilizations if you count the cats, available. And if you paid $300 for 25 civilizations and miniatures, and all you got was a bunch of paper, flimsy paper. That's what I was trying to show you guys. Flimsy paper, which I'm not too worried about that. The ones from Cthulhu Wars are pretty flimsy, the original ones too, so that's fine. Okay, here's our standees. These were supposed to be miniatures. Boy, those look like shit. Here we go. So, what? Yeah. These look like shit, but they could be worse. That's supposed to be our big Cthulhu shit. Starspawn. I mean, it is what it is, guys. I'm not even going to open the other box until we play it. You get the idea here. Front and back's identical. And I would recommend putting these in baggies, right? And then you got your stands here. It'd be cool if they used Ziploc bags, but I know that would have cost extra, and I'm not mad. I got Ziploc bags. So let's try this. Let's take one of these aliens. I'm assuming these are the Zepzegs. They don't look like Zepzegs. They look like, I mean, they do, but there's no detail. Hold on, I want you guys to see this, how muddled the details are on this, how shitty of a print this is. Yeah. I mean, it's passable, but we're supposed to be getting miniatures here. Okay, so right off the bat, it's feeling very difficult to get this in. And I don't want... There we go. Okay, it's doable. Alright. Yay. So now our Zepzeg's in there. Our totally washed out print of a Zepzeg is in there. Alright. It'll make the game work. This is better than nothing. So the other part of this I got covered. I'm not going to open anything else because we pretty well get an idea of what we got here. I don't see any silverfish, so that's a plus. Someone had opened up and they had silverfish in their box, and their box was damaged and all this stuff. Mine all seems to be fairly in order. So what's important here? Well, I was about to get into all of this you see here, right, was supposed to be plastic miniatures, but at least we're getting a game. So we get to try the game out, see if we like it. Supposedly, now this is supposedly, and no one believes this, no one with a brain anyway. I know I'm bandwagon fallacy city here, it's pure speculation, but no one knows. Oh, that's a shit show. Look at that. Wow. Okay, let's pop that out and see what happens here. Oh, that popped right out. Oh, okay, we're good. See that though? Like we're good. That's good. I got lucky, but I've heard horror stories. Like, oh, that one popped on the wrong side. See that? I'm gonna have to super glue that down. No big deal. Not the biggest deal, but again, you got a company that's, making stuff in the USA, but the quality is not tip top or anything. They're not bloated away. There's no real bonus for making it in the USA. I was about to hit on an important point here, but I totally lost track of what I was thinking. So I guess it'll be okay. These things were all supposed to be miniatures, but again, at least we got something. The prints are, some are better than others. Some are better than others. So we'll see how it looks on the table. Oh, when I get it out, we'll go ahead and video record it. And here's the other alien text. So you get 2 copies. The reason they added that extra one is because there was only 1 copy in the box originally because Quimbley's had made an error. All right. Now, what they did was, so they made the Nova expansion, which contained 4 civs. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about civilizations. Okay. The 4 civilizations in this expansion box, right, which I told you about, the Zepzeg, the Automata, the Star Spawn, right, and then the Salps, right? So each one has their own backstory, blah, blah, blah. But they left out the humans, which was the big super bonus civilization. And they left out, well, we got 8 out of 25. So they left out 2/3 of the civilizations, which again, and in order to get any of this, you had to pay $300. And this is the funniest part. Petersen Games, I don't believe Petersen Games paid a penny to produce any of this. That's my opinion, pure speculation on my part. But what they are doing is they are charging $148 plus shipping and tax. Or not tax. Yeah, there's tax on the shipping, yes. Yes. So if you go to Petersen Games website, you can get both of these games for about $163, depending on where you live. Your mileage will vary. $163. But on the back of the box, someone said there was an MSRP. Now, this box is substantially heavier than that one, so I'm guessing all your worlds are on here. MSRP right here. See it? $69.69. MSRP $69.69. And then the MSRP on this, $34.99. $99. We're just going to round it and call it $100. The MSRP on this is $100. Petersen Games will sell it to you right now for $163 with shipping and tax, give or take. Again, it's going to depend on your state. So they are doing you the solid of bumping it up, right? Didn't pay a penny for it. And that's if, now hold on, I do got to say, if you backed at $299, not the other levels, but $299, you get, right, are you ready for this? You get to pay shipping again for the second or third time. Second time in this case, but Cthulhu Wars, we paid a lot of shipping over and over again. You get to pay shipping a second time for an inferior product. Now, again, at least we're getting something. I'll give it to them. If the game plays well, it wasn't worth what I paid for it, but at least I got a good game on my table and in my collection. So there's a guy on the Petersen Games Discord who loves this game. Great guy. You guys should go on that Discord. There's some good people there. There's some real dicks too, but that's okay. I don't I get along with everybody, or I don't. I don't mince words. I'll tell you what I think, but there's some real great folks there. Okay. You're always going to have a hodgepodge mix. And I'm not a sugar coater. I'm not going to kiss your ass. Okay. So I'm going to tell you how it is. If you don't like it, that's okay. You can kiss my ass or you can love me. Love me or hate me. I don't care. But there's some great folks there. And one of them really, really loves this game. And he's a good dude. Real good guy. He's got his own server. It's the Hyperspace server. If you check that out on Discord, they are always playing on the tabletop simulator stuff. I think it's Steam or something. I don't know nothing about that. But yeah, if you want to know how to play this game, this guy will teach you. Great guy. I think his name's like Kyoto, yeah, something like that. He's from Russia, I think. Anyway, find that dude, say hi. He'll help you out. Would I recommend buying this for $163? Hell no. If you can get it, I think they're gonna mark it down to move units because they didn't really pay anything for it. I don't think, and that's just pure speculation again on my part. So yeah, it'll be priced to sell. Is it going to say Petersen games? I don't know. We'll have to play it. I can't gauge by that. If you actually paid $163 for this, again, I'm adding the tax and shipping. I don't think you're going to really find the value there. But at the MSRP at $99, maybe there might be something there. So I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake. If you cannot find them, do not blame me. I'm trying to show them to you. Have an amazing day. Like, share, and subscribe, all that jive. This has been my opening of Hyperspace. And when we actually play the game, I'm going to actually open this box up. So have a great day, man.